Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. If you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button, give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast, presented by BetCrisCanada.net. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Friday, April 10th through Thursday, April 16th, 2020. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
Hi, Cam. There's your professional open.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Brian? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Thanks for joining us. That's the Hockey Betting Podcast.
Meep.
All right. On to the next thing. All right.
You're on fire, smokestack. Hey,
buddy boy.
Buddy, we're hanging in there, taking care of my parents, dealing with turkeys in the grocery stores. Let's take out the grapes and touch them. That's a good idea. Let's fondle the bananas. I honestly wish it was like martial law right now. I would like to knock people's teeth out. But you know what, Brian?
You got me thinking though. What do grapes and Lysol taste like?
Sounds like some new form of crack or something.
Grapes
and Lysol, man.
What are the kids doing these days?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're past detergent tabs. We're on to grapes and Lysol. Hey, Gronk, how do my Tide Pods taste? Oh, boy, we should just do a comedy show for
what the hell do you think? What the thought process coming into this thing? No, we got some hockey news we'll get to. But all serious aside, things are hanging in here. We're all good here in Vegas. We'll see how things pan out in the next little bit. They're extending things, time frames. Bettman says, inside 2 weeks he's going to ultimately make a decision. I think this is the word of the pandemic. It's aspirational.
Yes.
But I think they still got some time, and they're holding out hope. But the reality is, Cam, we've talked about this before. No fans, and pick yourself some neutral sites. We've been talking about this. And in that regard, the NHL's kicking the tires on some neutral sites, and there are some intriguing ones. I know one you were going to dive into, and I got a Butte.
No, the thing is, I don't think the North Dakota idea is actually that poor.
Nope.
When you really look at population density, right, too? So, hey, we're joking around, but now we're being serious. Other than Alaska and a couple other states, I think it ranks fourth. Right now, their numbers are pretty good with the pandemic. But the thing is, if you're from North Dakota, do you want these people rolling into your town even under quarantine? But that facility, you talk to anybody who played for the Fighting Sioux, they have 2 beautiful rinks, 8 dressing rooms that are, I heard, better than a lot of NHL dressing rooms. So it's a nice spot, Brian. But here comes the problem. This is the easy stuff. The problem is the testing, right, and the numbers. That's the thing. What are you going to do? How many guys? There's a lot of players on a team. That's the only problem. If we can find a way to get some form of testing done, I think these sports can get back. But there's still a long way to go. But actually, I know I talked to some colleagues about it, and I actually defended the North Dakota idea. I think it's actually a good spot.
Well, I had heard, again, with Darren Dreger was on last week. Different guys were following. He's on my radio show here in Vegas. There's 4 sites. I think the way to do it is an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference site. Then you get into the complete logistics of it. The North Dakota thing makes sense. Now, Vegas was a kind of a thing that made sense, and then it dawned on me why it wouldn't happen here because of another site they're looking at. Fair or unfair, you would be talking about not crowds, but guys living at their home as opposed to the other teams would be coming in stuck in hotels. So it would be a big advantage for Vegas. to that end where the seriousness of what they're considering, and man alive, Cammy, I mean, we've both been there, and the word came out, John Worrell from the AP reported, Buffalo is a site they're looking at, and I'm like, man, it's perfect. That you've got the KeyBank Center, caddy corner right there. I mean, literally 50 feet from KeyBank Center is the Harbor Center, where the Sabres have two high-end practice rinks where 5,000 fans go and watch their prospects, and you plot the TV truck right between the two arenas.
Yep.
You've got a massive Marriott literally across.
That's the thing. People don't know. Buffalo, you live there, dude. They got 1 million rinks. Like, I remember when I played hockey tournaments there, Saberland, this, that, whatever. Like, that's not a problem. If you needed to even spread it around, and you said it, Brian, like, this is a city too, and I always want Buffalo, to make some bread, and I think it would be a great decision by the league and the community as Buffalo. An infusion of cash into that town would be fantastic as well.
Now, well, and yes, and that's another aspect of this. But you kind of just to finish the point, that right across the street's a Marriott. Okay, so you throw them all in there, and then they're walking distance, literally to the rinks. And then the other thing is, you've gone to games. You ever been to the 716, the sports bar, the big?
Oh yeah. It's awesome there.
So what? You literally, the league comes in and they buy that play. I mean, or they just say, we're exclusive. It's ours. We'll pay you whatever the hell you were gonna, your highest months for 3 months. That is ours. I mean, the public's not going anywhere anyway.
Exactly.
But so now these guys have a place to sleep, eat, play hockey. And all the TV nonsense is in one spot, 3 rinks. If they were playing a regular season, you could play 6 to 8 games a day. But if it's the playoffs, you could probably play 4 a day.
Yeah.
The biggest reason they're considering that, and why it makes utter sense, is the Sabres are out of it. So it is truly a neutral site with all the amenities. Vegas wouldn't get it because Vegas is in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but Buffalo makes sense. If they were to come back, I'd make that a 1-9 shot. That's either one of the two or the Eastern Conference locale that these guys are all playing.
Hey Brian, it's amazing. We do the show, and I'm wondering. I know you do your radio show. Why aren't you working for the league? You have better ideas than they do half the time. But it's not your first rodeo. You've been involved for a long time in the organization, doing broadcasting, play-by-play, interviews, everything. You know the way it works. But, here's the thing about the whole problem, and we're not doctors and everything. It's just this, if we can find a way, Brian, to increase the testing and get the numbers up and stuff, I think we can get back to things a little bit earlier than projected. But another problem, the vaccine. This has to be created, and there has to be a waiting point after the vaccine. That's the issue.
The sports is a microcosm of what we're all dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Now, they've got the PR side of things where people would drop the anvil on them. But, Cam, let's just cut to the chase here. The problem with the culture we live in today, if you even broach the subject, well, it's tapering down. We got to open things up and we got to get going. Then the other side of it, people automatically say, you want people to die. And it's like, well, wait a minute, guys. At some point, you got to go for it. I mean, because, this thing it doesn't necessarily just completely go away. So, honestly, this is a fun hockey betting podcast. But the reality of this is, well, what's the end result? Breadlines in a year and a half? I mean, at some point, is there not a risk-reward element to we've got to go on. We've got to figure a way to go on. We're treating it better. Less people are in dire situations because we know how to deal with it better as time goes on. So for that serious thing, and it's just as serious, you bring it to sports, we broach the subject. Okay, they huddle up. We're playing the playoffs. First 2 games, oh, my God, that Penguins Cap series was great. Game 3, series tied at 1. First 2 games went to overtime. Morning of Game 3, I ain't got to pick a name, but a guy tests positive. Do they shut it down?
Yes, they would. Well, that's what they did. That's what they did in the Oriental baseball. I think it was the Japanese league. Like, they were rolling for 4 days, and then some guy got it, and then he shut it down. And these are people that were basically, Brian, they were doing testing like a drive-through, how you go pick up your coffee when you're having your smoke in the morning, right? Boom, boom, boom. They're just swabbing people next.
That was then. Yeah, that was then. So no. I mean, God, I hate being serious because we like having fun.
No. I like the intro.
Right, well,
the intro. Hi, Cam.
Hi, Cam.
Hello, Brian.
But
no, you're right. You're right, though. You're right. Like, look what happened. Like, yeah, you finish, and then
I'm asking you. I'm like, if that scenario were to come to pass, that a guy tested positive, I mean, do you completely shut it down, or do you say, wait a minute? No, because the NHLPA, the league, they'd all have to say, we're in this together. We're signing a piece of paper. You can't have litigation. You can't have, there's going to have to be a whole new, almost a collective bargaining agreement for this thing. And they say, if a guy tests positive, we're all willing to continue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. But the problem with hockey is,
works.
Think about hockey, though. The proximity between the players, the dressing room, and all that stuff. One guy's not going to get it. More than one guy's going to get it. It's not like golf. That's what we talked about. We're like, why isn't golf trying to do this? That's what I don't understand. And I will say this, Brian. Who's a maverick out there? Who doesn't care? Dana White is basically, this is not a political show, but Dana White and Donald Trump were like tied at that. He tried to put on the UFC 249 card, right? Who shut it down? Disney. The big companies, all that other stuff. They had an island. They were going to do this, do that. And the thing is, they were all ready to go. They had the betting lines out. All the stuff was there. And then, boom, once the parent company saw it and they bowed down to the pressure, like, not happening. So that's the thing, right? It's easier said than done. You can even have an idea. And I know there's mavericks out there, but, big dogs are going to shut this thing down because they see the big picture.
I'm not sitting here going to say I disagree with it.
Okay.
But here's what happened in Nevada about 2 weeks ago. And honestly, I had pangs of guilt going, oh, geez, really? And I'm sitting there, but I'm watching the news the night before. And they're sitting there, all the happy talk and the smiling anchors in the face of calamity. Well, go hiking, go for a walk to Red Rock, or go here and go. And I'm sitting there going, well, what's the difference? I go, so we went golfing 2 weeks ago. Okay. The Cup's up. 3,000 acres, fresh air, you're outside. And we didn't get within 10 feet of each other. And it was great. And you're outside and you're getting some exercise. Not an issue. Yeah. Well, now, just like life itself, and I believe me, I understand both sides of this thing.
You're a fair man, Brian. I've known you. But
people, if this was 2 days ago, this is done. That two days ago, some people started chirping. Businesses that have been closed. Maybe it's somebody like that. And I understand the stress of all. Why are golf courses open? It's like, and the people that were bitching probably, wouldn't even think of going anywhere near a golf course.
Yeah. But
because someone created this thing, then the governor says, well, I'm getting all these pictures of all these guys gathering, and they go, that couldn't be further from the truth. Unless then they're idiots. But so a couple ruined it for everybody. But I mean, you're driving around individually in a golf cart. You're not near anybody else. You get on the green, you finish your hole out. I mean, you're air high-fiving a guy that's 25 feet from you, and you're outside and you're getting some exercise. But boop, close the golf courses. I mean, because of peer pressure, or not peer pressure, public relations aspect of it and the pressure of it. And again, I get it. So, okay, so it's gone. But there was something that no one was near each other. And, okay, gone. Now we're talking they're going to be playing hockey, and someone's going to get it. There's just no doubt about it. Someone's going to get it. And like you said, Dana White, ESPN, Money Talks.
Oh, yeah, no, and the governor. The thing is, people have to remember this too, Brian, and me and you are not politicians, but we'll play one for a few months. as we do these podcasts. But Governor Newsom in California, this guy's shutting it down. Like, they got a real problem there. That's the thing, right? So it's not just Disney, the governor, that's another thing. You can have another plan, and I like your ideas, because eventually you have to move forward. I'm not going to say today, but I'm going to say in a few months we got to start looking at the situation, what's going tick, tick, tick. But anytime a governor has the full power just to say, it's not happening, fellas, and that's what's going to happen, in my opinion.
I mean, anybody that listens to this on a regular basis goes in, listen to these two wingnuts. No, we're
not wingnuts at all. No, the thing is about you is you give a fair assessment, and I've known you for a long time. You're right. Eventually, you're going to have to take a shot. I don't know if you're going to wait till but it's not going to be now,
right, Cam? I mean, we're talking. Hey, how you doing? You got bank issues. I got sponsor issues with my radio show. We got issues with this thing. Yeah, we'd have been doing 3 of these a week.
I know. I thank God for Mike and Darren in the gang where we get one.
But every couple jokes. Okay, so yes, we got to get through it, and you want to be safe, and it's just that the information you're getting, everything has a political slant to it.
Yes, it does.
And and there's an election coming up, and you're sitting there going, "Hey, guys, any chance of just dealing with the situation at hand?" And you're not, you're just not getting a fair shake on either side. I mean, I'm Switzerland, man. Can somebody just tell me the truth? And then I got to be honest with you. And now they say, listen to the experts. Okay. Well, 2 months ago, the experts were saying this wasn't a thing. But now they're giving the experts the keys to the car. Well, they didn't know any more than anybody else 2 months ago. Nobody knows what this thing is.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
The fear of the unknown.
And then maybe you got a treatment that works, but because somebody says that treatment works and they can't stand that guy, that treatment, it's like, hey guys, are we in this to get this thing fixed? It's a dog's breakfast, man. It's just nuts. But there's got to come a time when we say, okay, we're handling it and dealing with it better than we have, but we've got to find a way to go forward, because if you listen to some of these characters on TV, well, 18 months, it'll be what 18? Talk to me in 18 months. What is this? This world looks like Mad Max in 18 months.
Yeah, no, we haven't even got to the looting yet, but it's interesting too, Brian. Like, let's just take the positive approach here. If it comes back, 74 games maybe. I guess you got to go 2 out of 3 in the playoffs. I think that's a must. You either do it up till the conference championship or the Stanley Cup final has to be 4. Else, to me, it's not legit. It has to be best 4 to 7 for the final. I don't mind if you do 2 out of 3 early, and then for the conferences you do 4.
I don't even want that. I want best of 7. But my question,
yeah, best of 7. But I don't think you have to do it early. I think you can do it late.
I think the tournament itself should be best of 7. But I think
okay. I kind of disagree, but I don't think it needs to happen till.
But
late.
What I would say to you is why I say it should be best of 7. I think there's a way around this, and somebody is not going to be happy. But if they just went and reverted back to Game 68, or they just did everything you did now and went to win percentage, somebody's getting scalded. Vegas is
just like the NCAA tournament. Everyone bitches, so deal with it, right?
I know someone's going to get scalded. But the thing is, why it's so patently unfair, a team like Vegas was going to play their last 4 games of the year on the road, okay? They have played, now financially and points-wise, Vegas has played 91% of their home games. It's not a level playing field. There are going to be 5 other teams that are out there that are in contention that had 8 of the last 12 at home, right? Yep. This is not equitable. So I think there's got to be, and they got to figure this out, but I think it's some sort of play-in, and you draw the line and someone's going to get smoked. But I think the teams that are in contention for the wild cards, for the 7 and 8 seeds, I think there's got to be some sort of play-in. Right? As of today, the top 3 in each division, bam, God bless, you're good to go. And then these other guys have some sort of play-in. I know they want the regular season. I just don't know how that happens.
Yeah, no, I don't mind the play-in format there. What do you think about the story that came out with the Hurricanes? Like the Hurricanes are saying they're planning for home games with no fans, limited attendance. But what's the deal? Like, wouldn't that be for everybody? Like,
oh yeah, well,
I don't even understand like the story they're talking about. Maybe 5,000 fans, maybe 8,000. How about 0 fans? Like the story kind of came out. I'm like, is this even a story? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, the league way back on the Wayback Machine, we're saying, okay, get your arenas and look for home dates into August. Okay, I think that was the pie in the sky thing. Honestly, Cam, if it happens, I got to believe it is some sort of neutral site thing. Now, the other thing that's going to be the real issue here, and again, I mean, guys are going to have to sign off on this stuff. And that's easy for us to say, like at the trade deadline, oh, this guy, move him. Well, he's got a wife and kids. It's one thing okay, well, you're a professional athlete. You're gone. You're going there. That's the business you signed up for. It's heartless, but this is, you're asking guys to abandon their wife and kids, in a really bad situation for up to 2 months.
That's another thing. That's an excellent point. Like, just because you say, hey, we're going to do this in quarantine, like, look at the NBA. You think LeBron James is going to be out without his family for, like, months? No. What about you? You're a veteran player with a family? No. It's great for single guys or guys, they can handle this stuff, but you bring up a great point. That's another thing. A lot of these guys are going to go, there's no friggin' way I'm going to be living like this for this amount of time. Like, no. And people are putting their foot down. That's another thing. They all have to agree to it, right, Brian? But, hey, we're trying to stay positive here, and, I'm just praying we could figure out something. But the good news is we're only in April right now. If the numbers can basically steady themselves or go down if we find a way, then we could start being realistic about actually finishing these seasons. So it's a long battle, friend, but we're trying to stay positive.
Let's be positive. Let me ask you this. Now, not skating, the passing,
yeah.
These guys are pretty quick because, listen, the preseason, they show up at camp. They skate 2 days and play a preseason game, and the preseason's not that long. They get up to speed pretty quick, but a lot of teams that were struggling it'd be wide open. Teams could turn the corner. Teams that were on a roll, they could react badly to this. But you look at the guy like Vegas, Stone and Pacioretty are back. Carolina saying Dougie Hamilton's back.
Yeah,
St. Louis, Tarasenko's back.
Yeah.
All these guys, and all these guys are coming in, not beat to a pulp from an 82-game schedule. How good would the hockey be?
No, you bring up a great point. And part of the reason why the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup, as we know, Brian, the Stanley Cup, like no other sport, no other trophy, it is a war of attrition. It's not even about talent sometimes. It's about who can move, who can stand, who can still skate without it like absolutely killing. I have less broken body parts than you. And that's what basically the San Jose Sharks in their series with Vegas got, they got beat down and one of those things. And then St. Louis, kind of like a python, Brian, they slowly squeezed the life out of the Sharks, and you saw in that series
they did it to the Bruins.
They were done.
They wore everybody down. They were all long series, but the fourth line wore everybody down.
Yep,
they hung around and kicked the door down.
You damn right. And and look at the Bruins in the East too. They win the wars. So. Yeah, it's very interesting to think about. You said it. Dougie Hamilton's back. Carolina's a scary team. They had basically no goaltending and 3 defensemen out. He comes back. That helps them. You said it, Tarasenko, other guys. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Some of these teams that were kind of, how are we going to do, or we're too beat up, now they have time to get refreshed, and that's very scary stuff.
I think it'd be a fun tournament. But I do believe that the real challenge is, there's a lot of challenges, but in terms of what's the starting point? Yeah, perfect world. Hey, we want to come back and we want to finish the regular season. Great, I get it. But what's the motivation, seriously, for Ottawa, Jersey, Buffalo, Detroit? What's the motivation? The Kings were playing great. That's cool. But Anaheim and the Sharks, these guys are going to come back for a training camp. You got paid. I get it. But boy, the level of indifference for 10 teams is going to be outlandish.
Yeah, and another brilliant point. And that's the thing, Brian. Like, I don't know, but hockey too. In comparison to the other sports, it's very, very different when you break it down, right, Brian? It's a gate-driven league. Other leagues that like their TV deals are just they smash the NHL, right? Like numbers are getting better now with Vegas, and the game is getting more popular across North America, right? And in some of these markets we never thought so, but that's the problem, right? Like the NBA, well, like the TV deals and all the other things they have, it's just like, oh my God, like hockey, it just sucks. They need fans in the building. That's the problem. That's how they make their money.
I brought this up, and I couldn't get an answer to this one, but I really wonder. Figure all these teams sign TV deals in their markets. Okay, so you've got your lawyers and casinos, or pick your beers, whatever, whatever.
Yep.
So you got your season package for these guys. Okay, you come back, you play these games. All right, those people get their stuff. That's fine. But now you get to the playoffs, and the teams make the money with the gate.
That's right.
There's no gate. But what's going to happen is the ratings will be through the roof because we're all starved for this stuff. So the team, as money goes to money, the networks are going to be the big winners, where the eyeballs are going to be through the roof, and they're going to charge more money for advertisers because more eyeballs are going to see it. And I wonder, and they're all in the throes of what's the next big TV deal going to be, that would there be wiggle room, and is it a two-way street? And the networks say we're gonna give you more. I mean, we already signed a deal, but this ain't what we signed up for. The networks are going to print money, and the hockey teams ain't making a plug nickel. Is it a sliding scale that the money comes back to the league from the TV networks? Because they will hit a home run on this.
For sure. No, I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. Like, think about your local broadcast, right, Brian? Like Finley Toyota, these guys. Like when you watch the Vegas game, the local network, all the guys, the sponsors.
You can only get one round, right? You get one round where the local affiliates get the first round. After that, have a nice day. It goes to the network.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
That's what happens.
Well, I don't think it's right that the people that have been putting it in the whole time get screwed just because of what happened with the season. They got to be a way to get it back.
And oh, by the way, as if we're in a crummy mood already.
No, we're doing okay, actually.
No, we're doing okay. But I mean, honestly, it's like the darkest day of the year for me is when the first round ends and I have to watch NBC Sports Network. No slide on them. I love the games, but I have the hockey package. I pay for this thing for the whole year. But because I'm in America, at the end of the first round, bye-bye Hockey Night in Canada coverage. Gonzo. Like gone. Like it's radioactive. That drives me insane. You got to deal with all
those guys. There's some good guys there. There's some bad guys there. But I'm with you.
Hockey Night, they cover it. They know. Of
course they do. Yeah, I know. And the thing is, they get right into it. And that's the thing, right? Like you're getting a broadcast where they take it up a notch, and every series means something. That's kind of what I like about the Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. You can tell, like, the NBC guys have their favorite series, where Hockey Night in Canada, they're into everything, right? Like, they're not just the Canadian teams. When they're done, they'll go to somebody else, and they'll do a really good job doing it. But, yeah, you're absolutely correct, and that sucks because you pay for that package. It would be nice if you actually had a choice of what you could watch, right? You're paying for the damn thing, but, hey, that's life, buddy. You come over to my place. Cook up some wings. I miss. Apparently, Brian, they're saying during this thing there's like a chicken wing over. Like there's so many chicken wings available. I guess that's the only positive thing. I can get a couple pounds for a couple bucks. I can load up on chicken wings.
Oh man,
there's an overstock because there's a problem, right?
Careful, you're doing an inside. You're doing an insider trading thing here on the podcast.
I'll call Tyson Farms. Bring me the truck.
Are you doing good in the tonnage department?
Yeah.
I mean, I've taken all the mirrors and scales out of my.
Oh, buddy, I know what the best is. I look like. My head is basically like I got product in it now. When I wake up, I look like Ronald McDonald on crack. Like I need a haircut. Like I that's the one thing that's driving me nuts. And you think I'm going to trust Lisa to give me a haircut after a few vodkas? She'll put it right in my neck. So I have no idea what's going on here. Like I grew the beard, cut my hair.
I grew the beard, comes all the way.
Me too.
No, comes all the way in. Zip. Okay, that one. I got the long hair thing. I got the shears. The last time I did it myself, and I got the stuff. And I'm like, that ain't happening again.
Oh yeah. You got the razor. You go ring. You can do it yourself for that, but like for my hair,
well, you would think you could. I did it once and it was like, okay, hey, great. I don't have to ever go do this again. Then the next time I did it, I instead of going flat, I tilted the thing and took like a whole chunk of gave myself a bald spot that I would never get. But I'm pondering the haircut again, although I did say I could do the Hockey Betting Podcast mullet, and I'm working on that.
Buddy, I got a mullet cook. Like, if we keep this thing out going for like another month, like it's getting crazy. Like, we'll do the next show. Mike might have to turn on the camera. I know it could hurt the bandwidth, and he's a real stickler when it comes to electronics. But I got to show you my lid. It's something fantastic. So, who cuts your hair? Rhonda Rickshaw, or you just do it yourself, or one of the kids? You just do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean. You eat 32 wings, and after you eat the 32 wings, then all the wings that you threw in a bowl, you empty the bowl into the garbage, and then put it on your head, and away you go.
On a serious note, too, Brian, just one thing that we didn't get to. Our thoughts and prayers with Colby Cave of the Edmonton Oilers, right?
I'm so glad you did. I was going to bring it up.
That's why you still bring me on the show, buddy. I have an idea.
I almost did it in the middle of the show, and I said, man, we're talking so much depressing stuff. But, I mean, you know what? I mean, every day, Cam, I'm not getting Socratic here. But honest to God, man, every day is a good day. I mean, I know you're right. We're in the middle of all this crap.
You're right.
And this poor kid is like out of nowhere.
The guy's in a medically induced coma at Sunnybrook in Toronto, right? Like, and that's the thing. This is not coronavirus, brain bleed. So, I'm praying. I'm praying that he makes it out of this. That would be like a happy story during all this time. It would be fantastic. But
we had to deal with
him and his family for sure.
Exactly. We had to deal with the Bowmeister thing earlier in the year.
I know. It's been kind of a crazy year. What am I talking? Yeah, that's an understatement. But that's what my mom says every day, Brian. A day above the earth is a good day. She's had like a positive attitude. My dad's got COPD, so I do their shopping and stuff like that. Like, they can't leave the house. They take the dog for a little loop, and then they come back in. Like, they can't get sick. So, but she's been positive throughout this thing, like trying to do the best. And I'm trying to keep the same approach. But there's a hell of a lot of people in worse situations, buddy. We get to do this for a living with Mike Darren and the gang. And, a day above ground is a good one. I'm just praying we can find a damn answer to stop this.
You're right. If I didn't do this, Mike would be playing a game of whack-a-mole with me. I haven't done it. I've been watching some of the old games, which have been – I get intrigued for a while, and then
Yeah, they're not the same. Like, what they're doing here. Know what they're doing here?
Same thing, I guess, is
what they're doing. The Raptors playoffs, and I'm like, it's okay, but I was there when you're living it live, and then they have the old. I don't mind the old classic game. That's cool. They've had a couple of good college football games, but
the Vegas thing. I haven't even looked at one.
Yeah, right? Vegas classics.
They're showing old Sabres games from the 80s and the 90s I kind of remember okay, tonight a Golden Knights classic that was 6 months ago. The hell.
Golden Knight classics. Get bent. Oh yeah, you know what the best thing is? You hear who's doing I guess I'm not sure who the professional is, but Mike will tell you, like, there's different sims. There was like 4 games last night. I guess they got some other ones. I was looking for the lines. I couldn't, by the time of taping, find it. But they have like a Sabres alumni doing, like Pat LaFontaine and those guys are all doing like a tournament with the video game and stuff. The Sabres are like doing it old school. They're bringing back guys from different generations. It's pretty cool. You know what I like about that organization, Brian? Even though you guys have a heartbreak, they've been very good with the ceremonies and stuff. I got to give them an A on their report card for that.
Buddy, the other thing, good news around the league. I mean, all these players, Jack Eichel working with Bauer to donate masks. Players are doing all these things. The Golden Knights, give them some credit. They just they donated $1 million. Bill Foley donated $1 million to the cause. Fleury, all around the league, guys are doing this. But they just came up with a thing, the 3 stars of the week. picking a hero of,
Yeah.
I mean, God bless hockey. Hockey's phenomenal in that regard.
Yeah, they are. Like when you think about that in the leagues, these guys are, they're doing the best they can. They're donating. I'll tell you, man, I'm just praying, Brian. Like I'm trying to I got a weird feeling that things are going to get better sooner rather than later. It's weird. Before I did, I'm starting to think things are going to get better, but maybe that's the optimist in me trying.
Well, no, I think it will. We got to get through this, the spike and then the curve. But you know what? Honestly, Cam, you've got to believe. I mean, there's a lot of smart people out there, and I think very quickly, believe me, how time's dragging on, that I think in the relative short term, there'll be a defined. This is the best treatment, the best approach to this, to find this thing where it's really something that they can handle instead of this great unknown. They're going to learn how to deal with it, so that'll get better. Ultimately a vaccine is the answer, but I can't get away from the fact, yes, we're all doing. The problem is you're doing your part, I'm doing my part, Mike and Darren are doing their part. Yep. The majority of people are doing their part, but then there are those that don't do their part, and this.
Oh, I know. I saw a video.
Ever stop.
Oh, so I know. People honestly, these people screw the $1,000 fine. Here we have $1,000 fines. They had a video of these idiot teenagers. They're all partying under a gazebo on swings that kids are on. I'm like, where are the cops? You got to put these guys in jail. It's already out there. Like these.
Well, that's the problem.
Hey, once a stooge, always a stooge, right?
Well, what was those jerk off spring breakers? They chartered a plane. And there's 70 something on whatever. 77 of them went. 45 of them come back with the thing.
Oh yeah, good work, guys.
All right, so we're sitting home for 2 weeks for what? Yeah. And again, Cam, I mean, just the there's a real nonsensical aspect to this that. Like I sit here like the common sense thing. Honestly, you're in more danger. Like, okay, shut the golf courses down. Okay, it's part of it. Do it. Wait a minute. You're in more danger going to the grocery store.
Oh yes, definitely. Like I went to the grocery store with my parents, and even my mom's getting I used to go two times, 3 times a week. My mom's once every week or two now. We can't put you in that kind of danger. People are running into you, the carts. There's no social distancing. It's a disaster. But, hey, Brian, it's amazing, too, when this thing comes back. Remember Cale Makar, the Avalanche prospect, Alex Newhook is the NCAA Rookie of the Year. This team is just, can you believe how well they've drafted and stuff like that? The Avalanche are damn scary, buddy. They got another stud their way. They're already one of the best teams, if not the, in the league.
Well, I've seen it firsthand, and I'll tell you how things will change down the road. When that day comes that you come back to Las Vegas, I've seen your act, and it attracts some really weird people. I mean, and you'll sit there and, some guy that probably, comes to Vegas and has 8 heads under his porch is standing there talking to you like he's your best friend.
Yeah, like he wants me to be a sidekick. Hey, Cam, here's the shovel. Okay, Jerry. Or I'm hanging out with that biker guy. The guy, his name's Guy or Guy. I thought it was Guy.
Well, the good news is you can still interact with people because you're loud enough to talk over the din or whatever. But your interaction quotient just went down, brother, man.
Yeah, it's okay, Brian. I have a lot of you in me, too. I get sick of people, too, so... Anyway, it's
nice to people.
No, I like
it's not hard to be polite and talk. Yeah, but you take it.
I like my own time. I like my own time doing my own.
I'm like, hey, hi, nice to meet you. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then you stand there, and the guy goes, first the earth cooled, then the dinosaurs came, and they got too fat and died and turned into oil. And then I had some oatmeal breakfast, and they're like, get on with it.
Yeah, you're right. When I interviewed, when that guy with the barf on his shirt came up and actually had a real conversation with him when you were watching hockey, I think that was the final straw. Cameron, stop.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
Stop. I remember Bobby.
Well, it's bad enough that God bless you. Either you've got that heart of gold, or you just the filter. That it would be bad enough to talk to the guy that would have the stain on his shirt. You would talk to the guy that has chunks on his shirt.
Oh yeah, that guy was a mess. He looked like he had paint, barf, and whatever. Hey guys, you like hockey? Yeah, we're watching 3 games. I guess we do. That guy was the best.
Remember the guy? I'm sitting there playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets.
Oh, you can't, if he looks could kill them, you were hacking a door.
There's 5 minutes left in the first.
Get this guy out of here.
Right, 5 minutes left in the first period. Right, the goal scored. I'm like, gee. And the guy goes, "There's a long way to go." I go, "No, there's not. There's 4 minutes to go. Any chance you can go somewhere else?"
Yeah, that guy was no clue, Lou. But we had a good time, buddy. Brian, maybe next week, we'll stay positive. We can talk about some draft prospects or do whatever. Those sim games will get cooking. Like, don't worry.
Craig Button put out his and Central
draft rankings.
Those guys, they know what they're doing. The problem with Kim, and it's no knock on it, the hockey draft is cool.
Yeah,
the NFL draft's a monster. Because we've all seen, these guys play.
Exactly. A lot of the Euros, we don't know what they're like.
Well, the Euros, but come on. Okay, hey, Dylan Cousins, he's got like 99 points in the Western Hockey League. I've seen 3 10-second clips of the kid.
No, you bring it up, but Lafreniere and all those guys, like you see in the juniors, there's guys that I know, but you're absolutely correct, Brian. Jeez, wow, you're really shutting me down today, buddy.
I'm not shutting you down. It's cool. Well, I love the draft thing, except that was
you're right, though. You wish you knew the guys a little bit more.
That was Don Cherry's thing, though, to tell the kids, stay home. The kid that thinks he's going in the first round,
Exactly.
Goes 3 days later, and the poor kid's lost 18 pounds sitting in
Aaron Rodgers syndrome. Like, that's why Aaron Rodgers played so angry, right? Like, that's the thing. You almost, you're just sitting there seething because you haven't been drafted yet.
All right, my brother. Good stuff. The hockey betting.
No, we're doing good, man. And
hey, we love you all out there. Hope you're hanging in there. Hope it wasn't too
thanks for supporting us still. Like, I got to be honest with you, Brian. Our friends at BetCris, the listeners, you, Mike, Darren, everybody, like, there's no games, and we're still people are clicking in to do it in for our bad jokes, and we really appreciate it.
Still like Colorado to win the whole thing, man.
So do I. I still know what doesn't make sense to me. I made an NCAA bet, and I have Kansas. If they're not the top ranked team, why don't I get paid? Anyway, we'll talk. That's a story for a future.
You want
not having an NCAA tournament? I should get if they finished as the number 1 team. I want my money.
You want a bad beat?
Yeah.
I told you in the fall, I ran to the app when Tyrrell Hatton won.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Bet him at 150 to 1 to win a Masters.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he has wrist surgery, comes back, finishes top 5, and then wins.
Yep.
Right? And Augusta's right around the corner. Okay, so be it. It ain't till November now, and we're thrilled that maybe could happen. But the house rules said that the event had to be played within 8 days of the scheduled event. So it's all a refund, and now the new market's out, and Tyrrell Hatton's 81.
Yeah,
I had him at 150 to 1.
Exactly. Yeah, that sucks, and that's going to happen a lot. But anyway, Brian. Hey, if we do get the Masters in November and hockey back, it will be party time, buddy. And I am going to load up on those chicken wings. Prices are down. My freezer will be full.
So at the end of it, the birds chirping and the music.
Cheep.
Give me the bird sound underneath.
Cheep.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Cheep.
God, we're idiots. No, the winner is by himself in Butler Cabin. and we're going to
yeah, that's right. We're going to interview. And he sits in the chair and goes, I would like to thank everybody
no.
for winning the Masters.
The guy wins the Masters.
Yeah, you can't even get the coat on him.
No, he walks into Butler Cabin, and all that's there is the green jacket on a hanger.
That would be awesome. It's actually going to be interesting to watch these sports with all this other stuff. But, hey, man, first, we got to get the first step, getting them back, Brian. Then we'll worry about fans in the stands.
All right, give me the bird chirp one more time.
Oh, cheep.
No, the Augusta. No.
Oh, Augusta bird.
The calm, the music. Give me the calm Augusta bird to end this.
Cheep.
Goodbye, friends. Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At BetCrisCanada.net and the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.